So I also go through phases where like the last thing on the planet I feel like eating is a salad. Just seems like really disgusting. And I feel way hungrier than that, like salad would be kind of rabbit food. And I like crave more just straight up carbs or whatever. I kind of just go with it. Because these phases always come and go. I know that my salad phase will eventually come back. If I start to feel kind of unhealthy, I'll start craving salads, and I'll finally make myself go to the store and buy a couple big old bags of spinach and start all over again. Now, I don't eat meat. I haven't eaten meat since 1991. Heck, maybe I should do a show on that. But I won't talk about the reasons why right now. So, when I started doing Taekwondo, I was really, really sleepy all the time because I was doing too much exercise. And the nutritionist at the school made me realize that I was 70 grams short on protein a day. That's why I was getting really, really sleepy. And he told me to start having whey protein. So I've gone through several different brands, and this is the one I really like. It tastes like cardboard if you just drink it on its own with milk or whatever. Put this in juice, orange juice. It's so yummy. It tastes like a creamsicle, kind of like those orange creamsicle pops. It's got lots of protein in there. I have one of these a day. If I do some hard exercise, I'll have kind of one right before I exercise and then one a little while after. Sometimes if I wake up and I'm not feeling really hungry, like usually I wake up ravenously hungry, but if I've eaten the night before like I did last night, then I wake up not hungry, I'll just have my little orange juice with this in it. It's really refreshing and yummy. And then I take vitamins. Finally boiled it down to, instead of having taken like a million vitamins, it was ridiculous. I just got this liquid vitamins, really good. This has most of the stuff that I need. I went and signed up for that realage.com website and plugged in all the vitamins I take, and you know, it asks everything about you, what your age is, blood pressure, this and that, what your social patterns are. It's amazing the detail it goes in. Came back and told me exactly how much of which vitamins I was missing. So I added some vitamin E, a little bit more fish oils, a little more antioxidants, although it didn't say I needed this. I kind of had already bought these, so I want to finish taking them. There's lots of antioxidants in the liquid vitamins, and a little more calcium. So that boiled down to just 4 pills. I don't have one of those pill holders. I use these cute little sake cups. So I have 7 of these sake cups filled with vitamins. They used to be filled to the rim, but now they're just 4 pills. So once a week I fill these with my pills, because it's not like every day. I'm not going to open each jar and take a pill. It's way too annoying. That's why people do those Monday through Sunday pill things. I don't have a really particular time of day I take the vitamins. I haven't quite honed that part down yet, but I do it once a day. I have them right in the kitchen, so whenever I'm in the kitchen and I happen to be eating and I happen to think about it, I'll take those. Oh, I also take glucosamine, the most vile stuff I've ever tasted. I'll have to show you what brand it is. It tastes disgusting. If you're taking glucosamine and it doesn't work, it's probably because it tastes good. You got to get the bad tasting stuff. So it's good for my knees. My knees started hurting when I was about 25. And Taekwondo really did them in. So that's that. That's pretty much my nutrition plan. So I'll talk about exercise for a second. I'm not very good at motivating myself to exercise on my own. I am not very good at having a gym membership. I probably wouldn't go regularly if I had one. But, so what I do is go to things like Taekwondo, mixed martial arts, kind of things where if you stop going, people there might actually call you up and say, hey, where are you? Where have you been? And especially like in Taekwondo, it was very formal, the whole bowing thing, and yes sir, and reciting a mantra in formation every time you show up. And then you have to learn all these forms and combinations. And if you don't go, you fall behind, and then it's a little stressful. So there's a lot of motivation to keep going regularly. So I did that for a good solid 3 years. Got a black belt and stuff. And then I got my 2nd degree black belt. Then I realized it was kind of maybe too easy to get black belts there. And I really didn't want to get a 3rd degree black belt because I didn't really know if it would mean much. Started realizing that other martial arts don't necessarily give black belts out so easily. Don't get me wrong, it was hard work. I had to do a lot of hard stuff. And I made it extra challenging by doing what was called the Ultimate Black Belt Challenge. Mrs. Masterly, there's 2 Masterlys at our school. She organized this thing where beginning black belts would do a bunch of stuff every day for a whole entire year. So we had to do, oh my god, we had to do 100 sit-ups a day, 100 push-ups a day, walk 3 miles a day, which I did mostly all on my stationary bike because it was really, really hot outside. We had to do 3 good deeds a day, which turned out to be the hardest part for everybody involved. We had to do our form 3 times a day. Doing your black belt form 3 times a day, that in itself is really hard and exhausting, mentally and physically. Oh, there was other stuff I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, we had to read a book about philosophy once a month. I asked Masterly her permission to read stuff that was my kind of philosophy, like chaos theory, string theory, stuff like that. And she said, yep, that's okay. So I read a whole bunch of books last year. And we had to keep track of all this stuff in a notebook. We had all these tiny little squares we had to fill in, how many sit-ups and push-ups and all that stuff we did today, and what good deeds we did. That was kind of ridiculous. Like, if someone at a store dropped his wallet, I'd bend over and pick it up and hand it to him, and he'd look at me like I was crazy. Stuff like that. It's really hard to figure out good deeds, especially I don't get out of the house enough. So I ended up giving away free websites and stuff to people on my web hosting service. So that added a lot of challenge to the black belt thing. And when all was said and done, we had a meeting with just I think there were 10 of us doing it. We did our ultimate black belt challenge thingy at the end, which we each did like something different that was really hard to do. I did like this sparring with a bag for a really, really long time that was unbelievably hard. I thought I was going to throw up. Anyway, and we didn't get a certificate, didn't get a reward, didn't invite any kind of an audience, and then it was over. But it was very fulfilling for each and every one of us. And we all, I think we protested push-ups for a year after that. I had to let my triceps go down, they were getting too big. And then I, instead of really sticking around and getting my 3rd degree black belt, like I said, I actually looked elsewhere to do something totally different. I started doing jiu-jitsu. Now, I wanted to do the kind that didn't use a gi, kind of more cage fighting style. I know that sounds ridiculous, but hey, we're talking about how to stay young. And some people think a good way to stay young is to just completely challenge yourself and do things that most people wouldn't normally do and have a good sense of humor about it. Which is exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to a cage fighting school. I am the only girl in the whole entire school. But, okay, don't think I'm too crazy. I don't do the mixed martial arts classes. I only do the jiu-jitsu classes. And I actually stopped doing the kickboxing. I did like 2 or 3 or 4 kickboxing classes. Realized that was a little much for me. When they said get out the Vaseline and put a headgear on, I knew that I was in for some trouble. And I actually could kick them in the head really easily because they weren't expecting fast taekwondo kicks, but there was no power behind my kicks. So anyway, so I do the jiu-jitsu there, and the guys are really, really cool about it. They're not like, hey, there's a girl in the class, woohoo. And they're not like, oh god, how annoying, there's a girl in the class. They're kind of just cool about it. If a guy has an actual professional cage fight coming up, then I step aside and let them fight with someone else who's like a real fighter. and I'll get with like some new guy or smaller guy or whatever. So I try to do that twice a week. So now I have a new schedule. So I'm usually an evening workout person, but now I'm switching it to morning so that I can have my evenings for other stuff. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon I do the Taekwondo thing, and now Tuesday, Thursday I do the Jiu-Jitsu thing. And if I miss 2 days a week, that's fine. I don't stress it. So at least I know I have all these options, times I can go. Yeah. So I really admire people who can exercise on their own, just go for a walk or ride their bike or do aerobics at home or even go to the gym. Just not my thing. You got to find your own way to do stuff that'll keep you disciplined.